Yeah.
And we have this, we schedule him. We've been taking care of my mother-in-law for 7 years.
Okay.
She's 93 years old. So anyway, we normally communicate quite a bit during the week and stuff,
So are you wanting to check on him or your mother-in-law?
No, on him.
He lives on No Gal.
Yes.
And somebody had called earlier. We were out busy, but someone had called in for a welfare check, but they canceled us prior to us getting up there because they said whoever it was, and I can go look and find the name, that said that house was locked up tight and that nobody was up there.
The person Sergeant Nordquist is referring to is Mike's nephew-in-law, Kane Mays, and it appears that both Mike and Kane are concerned about family members. Though the family dynamics are becoming tricky to keep up with for the sergeant, Mike is about to make one thing about Kane crystal clear.
Do you know what Kane Mays?
I do know. That's part of the problem.
Okay, so what's the problem there?
Okay, well, I think he's trying to keep us from going over the book. The house is owned by his father. Yeah, well, the owner of the house, okay, was Frank Beret, and he's deceased.
Frank is deceased.
Yeah. Victor, his brother, was living with him along with Kane's grandmother
Nubini Pizzanini.
and his stepbrother.
Nubini Pizzanini.
As
Nubini
Mike continues
Pizzanini.
explaining the complex family dynamics to the sergeant, one thing becomes clear. 3 people are missing, all close relatives of Mike and Kane. But before Mike leaves, there's something serious he needs to warn the sergeant about.
I'm going to get one of my deputies and we're going to go out to the address and see what we can see. See if we can find something.
Okay, let me give you some heads up. His dad had a lot of guns, right, before he died, and he taught Kane how to shoot. And when Kane came the other day, I didn't finish my story. When I pulled up there, okay, and I hollered out the window for Vic because the gate was closed, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then a person comes to where I can see about this much of it, right? Up there. And I go, hey, Ben! And he goes, no, it's me, Kane. When he walks down to me, he's packed. He's armed. I says, well, have you seen Victor? He says, no, nobody's up here.
Okay.
So I think if I were you, I would look for one or 2 guys. Because I think he knows how to shoot. I don't know if there were any like rifles and stuff like that where he could be, anyway. So I had his phone number. But then after I had his phone number, so he had my phone number, he started texting. Your grandmother's missing, your uncle's missing, your stepbrother's missing, right? And this is what he's talking to me about. He's a pathological liar. I think he's up to no good. I really do. You guys got to be really careful.
He said he just got off the line with Sergeant Nordquist or North. He never called us because we never contacted him.
It's becoming clear to the sergeant that something is off. Sensing this won't be a routine welfare check, Sergeant Nordquist takes note of Mike's concerns and prepares to head out to the house. What makes this case so unique isn't just the crime scene officers will soon walk into, but the way police have to piece it together, using advanced forensics and strategic elicitation to cut through the lies. And as the investigation unfolds, this will prove to be one of the most resource-intensive cases for everyone involved, with constant pressure, long hours, and difficult decisions at every step. Many of us deal with our own pressures and emotional struggles, and sometimes all it takes is talking to someone to begin working through them. There was a time when I got into a pretty bad argument with a close friend a while back, and it just stuck with me. I kept replaying it, what I said, what they said, whether I was in the wrong, and I didn't really have anyone I could talk to about it without it turning into a whole thing or someone picking sides. I just kept telling myself I'd get over it eventually, but eventually never really came. And at some point, I realized that having someone to talk to who's completely outside of your life, who can just give you a fresh perspective with no bias, makes a huge difference. That's why I've partnered with today's sponsor, BetterHelp. Starting therapy can feel like a huge step, but BetterHelp actually makes it really simple. You take a short quiz, get matched with a licensed therapist, and if it's not the right fit, we can switch anytime at no extra cost, which I think is huge because finding the right therapist makes all the difference. And I'm not the only one who thinks so. Over 6 million people have used BetterHelp, earning it a 4.8 out of 5 rating on the App Store. Click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/DrInsanity to get 10% off your first month. With that said, let's get back to the investigation. Approximately an hour after talking to Mike, Sergeant Nordquist and a group of officers head to the property to conduct a welfare check. Based on Mike's previous concerns, officers approach the house cautiously in case they encounter Kane.
I got an open door.
Sheriff's office! Sheriff's office, if you're in here, make yourself known! Sheriff's office!
Stay here with Sarge. Stay here with Sarge. Got you. Yeah, I was gonna say everything's stacked and piled.
Yeah.
You good? Doorknob was locked on this. Yeah. Literally, when I went like that, I was like, the door just kept going. I was like,
Puzzled by the home's disarray, officers leave after confirming no one is inside. With boxes stacked throughout the home and both of Victor's cars, the blue and green Subarus missing, officers assume the family may have moved out. In reality, the clutter wasn't accidental. It was intentionally staged to conceal evidence of foul play, and it has done exactly that. None of that is apparent now, so Sergeant Nordquist calls Mike on the phone to update him on the situation. This is where the two men will slowly start to pick up on just how sketchy this whole ordeal is.
Hello, sir. So we went up to that address.
Hola, Mabel,
we got to the
saludos.
residence. There was nobody inside. There's no vehicles matching the descriptions of the Subarus you gave on the property. So, but there was no signs of a struggle, no signs of any foul play that we could determine. There were some boxes that appeared to be like being packed up, but other than that, that's all we got.
The thing is, all three people are missing that were staying there at the house, but definitely the king is the kicker. That he's the one that did all that. He called, got your name, and then he was able to send me that text saying that he spoke to you.
Yeah.
And then he called back later and canceled the deal, right?
Yes, sir. And on the face of it, it looks super sketchy, but there was no indication that we could see of any foul play or
Struggle or anything.
struggle. Yes, sir.
As the sergeant tries to reassure Mike, even he begins to wonder if the scene is hiding more than it appears. A few hours later that afternoon, Nordquist returns to the station and calls Kane, trying to understand why he canceled the welfare check and why, most strangely, no one was inside the house.
Hi, this is Sergeant Nordquist at the Sheriff's Office. Is this Mr. Mays?
Yes, sir. How are you?
The reason why I'm calling is in regards... earlier this morning, you had contacted our office to do a welfare check on a family member.
That's correct.
Who is that family member to you?
It's my grandmother.
Your grandmother? Who lives up there with your grandmother at the 121 Nobel?
That would be an uncle of mine and my brother.
Do you have any information on them attempting to move anywhere?
I was told that
Tipito
my brother
Pitaco.
and my grandmother are planning to move soon.
So the reason why I'm calling is we went up to that address because Mr. Bleddy stopped by.
Yeah, he was the one who recommended that we give you guys a call. He seemed pretty upset. He was looking for Vic.
So we went inside the residence to make sure that nobody was hurt or injured. Nothing was broken into. We didn't see any signs of struggle or any signs of foul play. Did you text Mr. Bleddy at all today?
I mentioned that we stopped by, and I had given you guys a call, and everything was okay.
Who told you that everything was okay?
Dispatch coordinator, I don't remember her name.
Because the information that I got was that you called back and said you went up there and everything was okay.
Correct.
Now, what was in that text message to Mr. Bleddy? That's what I'm confused with.
I let him know that I had tried to call you, and the dispatch officer said that you were tied up with, it sounded like a pretty hostile situation.
The way the text message reads was that you had made contact with me, and I know for sure, and you know for sure that didn't happen, so that way it looked kind of weird.
Naturally, Nordquist doesn't know what to make of Kane's message to Mike, in which he seems to falsely claim to have spoken with the sergeant. Suspecting Kane is hiding something, Nordquist ends the call and immediately requests a search warrant for a second search of the house. While they wait for the warrant to be processed, all police can do now is hope the missing trio turns up safe. A hope that is far removed from the gruesome reality awaiting them just a few hours from now. Early on a Wednesday morning that week, around 10 a.m., something strange happens about 200 yards from the house where the trio vanished. A passerby takes notice and calls 911.
911, where's your emergency?
Yeah, I'm phoning about there's a fire off into the mountains area. I called before about 2 minutes ago. So
we drove down the road to see if we could get a better view of the fire to help you guys out.
Okay. Well, we have already toned out the fire department, so we will get units headed that way to see if they can locate.
Yeah.
Okay.
I sit at the top of that road for a second. They'll be able to see it.
We'll let them know.
Shortly after the call, 2 deputies are dispatched to investigate the fire. Once they arrive at the reported location, one of them spots something disturbing in the distance. A burned, flipped-over vehicle matching one of Victor's missing cars.
We got tire tracks towards the direction I walked. Just follow the path. I got the vehicle. It's smoking. I got a couple sets of shoe impressions, tire tracks, all that. 99% sure there was a page and a spinal cord in here, in this vehicle. Given the circumstances, Brad told me about it. Look right in here.
Yeah.
That looks like a human, dude. These things burn hot.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully Slater's and his team is on the way.
As officers look inside the car, they can see what appears to be the burned remains of 3 people, too badly damaged by the fire to identify them at the scene. Suspecting a homicide, they call in Sergeant Nordquist, and it wouldn't take long for him to connect the dots.
So this might be a Subaru it's a vehicle that they haven't accounted for yet. Look right here.
Oh, for sure.
You see it?
It's like, do you see a soul anywhere?
I've been looking in here. Just given the circumstances, this actually might be one of the missing people.
What's that right there?
I was looking at that too.
Oh, yeah.
That's a skull cap right there. Yeah. Yep.
It's by one of our missing people with the missing vehicle.
From up here?
Huh?
From up here?
Yeah, I guess Brad, he suspects some guy named Kane killed most of his relatives that live here. And this vehicle, I think, is a Subaru. Looks like
This is really fresh, dude. There's more over here.
He had to put it out
fresh.
himself, because it would have caught this whole place on fire.
What officers are beginning to suspect is horrifying. Not only do the burned remains likely belong to the 3 missing individuals, but given how recent the fire is, the person responsible may have burned the bodies just hours ago and could still be within reach of police. So, once the scene is secured and the bodies are sent for autopsy, a nationwide BOLO is issued for Kane Mays. Although police now believe they know what happened and who's responsible, they have no idea just how far beyond Kane this plot goes. There are more players involved, more targets, and a multi-state homicide case that will exhaust every resource police